In a world where power shifts with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpillon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, please discuss.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People television. Now you have more than a voice.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching VOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Voice of the people. You can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikena Onyekwena, and I am with the voice of the people.
Well, hello and welcome to News Hour on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Nenna Ndomdioto. Before we begin, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. First, the headlines. Inec confirms position on electoral laws.
Also, Abia leaders pledge support for Tinubu, say Ndimbo will correct past mistakes.
Moghalu says removing Tinubu and APC won't be easy.
Dati Baba Ahmed throws jabs at LP defectors, calls them political travelers.
Court orders interim forfeiture 57 property worth 213 billion naira linked to Malami.
NANS raises alarm over plight of Nigerian scholarship students in Morocco.
On the foreign scene, United States to discuss Greenland ownership with Denmark next week.
Well, in business news, the federal government pushes to boost local shipping industry.
In sports, Super Eagles boycott travel and training over unpaid bonuses ahead of Algeria clash.
While in entertainment news, Regina Daniels clears name with drug test abroad after Lila's allegation.
Now the news in details. The Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, has formally restated its position on the enforcement of the country's electoral laws, reaffirming its commitment to the Constitution, the Electoral Act, and its own regulations guiding political activities. In a statement issued on Wednesday, Inec said it remains bound by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, the Electoral Act 2022, as well as its regulations and guidelines. The statement was signed by Victoria Eta-Mercy, Director of Voter Education and Publicity. According to the Commission, its mandate includes ensuring that political parties operate within the framework of the law and uphold democratic standards in the conduct of their internal affairs. INEC is constitutionally empowered to regulate political parties and organize elections at federal, state, and local government levels.
Now, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has received assurances from Abia State leaders that the Igbo will correct past electoral mistakes in 2027 and rally behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Kalu received the pledges during a New Year courtesy visit to Senator Chris Adigije, a chieftain of the All Progressives Congress APC in Umahia South Local Government area of Abia State. Senator Adigije expressed gratitude for the visit, pledging support from the Olokoro Umahia clan for the Tinubu administration's development agenda.
Meanwhile, a political pressure group, Abia Patriots, has responded to Senator Ojo Zokala's claim that Governor Alex Otta's support isn't needed for APC to win in Abia. Carlo had said he was enough to deliver APC without Otta's help, citing interventions he made during Otta's 2023 governorship campaign. Otta's visits to Carlo's residence and interactions between Otta's team and Carlo were mentioned. Abia Patriots expressed disappointment and shock at Carlo's comment, cautioning him against distracting Otti. The group also noted Carlo's alleged shift on President Tinubu's candidacy.
Well, still on political matters, ahead of the 2027 general elections, a former All Progressives Congress APC chieftain and Labour Party LP governorship candidate in the recent Anambra election, George Moghalu, has warned that dislodging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his ruling APC from power will not be an easy task. Speaking to journalists in Abuja on Wednesday, Moghalu said opposition political parties currently lack the cohesion required to effectively challenge an incumbent government. stressing that fragmentation within their ranks makes a victory unlikely. According to him, history has shown that removing an incumbent administration requires unity of purpose, sacrifice, and collective resolve among opposition forces. Mohalu, a founding member of the APC and former national editor of the party, recalled how the ruling party itself emerged through the merger of several opposition parties to defeat the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in 2015. He explained that before the formation of the APC, opposition parties such as the ANPP, CPC, and ACN operated independently and consistently failed to defeat the PDP despite fielding strong candidates. Mohalu argued that the same political reality still applies today, warning that as long as the opposition remains divided, the ruling party will continue to dominate.
Meanwhile, the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, has described former members of the party who have defected to other political platforms as political travelers. Baba Ahmed made the remark on Wednesday while addressing party faithful at a rally held at the LP national headquarters in Abuja, where he also hinted at a possible presidential ambition on the party's platform ahead of the 2027 elections. His comments followed the recent defection of the LP's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi to the coalition-backed African Democratic Congress ADC. Speaking at the Abuja rally, Baba Ahmed appeared to take a swipe at some former party members who, according to him, were welcomed into the LP with his presidential ticket in 2022, but later chose to leave.
In another development, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has denied involvement in a political write-up titled Malagi 2027, speculating on the 2027 Niger State governorship election. In a statement, Idris's office said the article was written without authorization by his aide, Saidu Enagi. The minister has suspended Enagi and ordered an investigation. Idris emphasized his focus on ministry work and lack of interest in political distractions, highlighting his cordial relationship with Niger State Governor Mohammed Umaru Bago.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has ordered the interim forfeiture of 57 properties linked to a former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and two of his sons, Abdulaziz Malami and Abiru Rahman Malami, to the federal government. A statement on Wednesday by the EFCC spokesman, Dele Oyewale, said Justice Emeka Nwite granted the order on Tuesday following an ex parte application filed by Counsel to the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, Ekele Ihanacho. Oyewale said the properties valued at about 213.2 billion naira are located in Abuja as well as Kebbi, Kano and Kaduna states and are suspected to be proceeds of unlawful activities. In the ruling, Justice Winter directed that the properties listed in the schedule to the motion be temporarily forfeited to the federal government.
In the meantime, a political activist and former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Comrade Timmy Frank, has criticized the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, accusing it of neglecting its constitutional duties and acting as a political tool for the ruling party. Frank claims the EFCC has breached its mandate and brought what he called shame through selective prosecution, citing the case of Senator Fanyu Kowa, who faced corruption allegations while in opposition, but saw his case go silent after defecting to the APC and receiving a renewed Hope ambassador position. He also mentioned that former governors Okezie Ikpeazu, Samuel Otom, and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi were invited by the EFCC. Frank said the agency's actions make it hard to distinguish between a corruption-fighting body and a ruling party arm. He therefore called for EFCC Chairman Ola Olukoyede's resignation.
The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has expressed deep concern over the alleged neglect of Nigerian students in Morocco. The umbrella body of Nigerian students at home and in the diaspora was reacting to a widely circulated video of Nigerian students stranded in Morocco, who accused the administration of President Bola Tinubu of abandoning them to hardship, homelessness, and medical neglect. In a statement signed by NAN's Vice President, External Affairs, Kenechukwu Aneke, the association called for urgent repatriation and welfare support for all affected students in Morocco and any other countries facing similar issues. Other demands include a full investigation into the mismanagement of scholarship funds and accountability for those responsible, the immediate release of all outstanding stipends, accommodation and allowances, as well as comprehensive review and reform of the overseas scholarship program to prevent future occurrences.
In the meantime, the Northern Youth Frontiers NYF on Wednesday commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what it described as bold and transformative reforms aimed at restructuring Nigeria's economy and strengthening the nation's governance framework. In a statement by its chairman, Sama Musa, the group said the Tinubu administration, despite operating amid unprecedented economic and social challenges, has prioritized long-term stability, growth, and shared prosperity through far-reaching policy decisions. According to the NYF, the removal of fuel subsidies, though initially difficult for Nigerians, represents a critical step towards fiscal responsibility and sustainable development.
Joining us virtually to analyze the news is a House of Assembly candidate of Ikorodu Constituency 1, Lagos State, and leader of the ADC in Ikorodu and Lagos, Sunday Moses Oladapo. You're welcome, Sunday. Please, can you unmute your device, please?
Yes, very good evening and Happy New Year to all our listeners and to you in the studio.
Thank
you.
Thank you
for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us as well. Happy New Year to you.
Welcome.
Okay, so let's start with this. The Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec, has, of course, restated its position on the enforcement of the country's electoral laws. They've reaffirmed their commitment to the Constitution, of course, the Electoral Act, and its regulations, and its own regulations guiding political activities. And they're saying that they would ensure that they regulate activities around them. They actually just ensure that they would keep secure or they will remain bound by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Would you say they are just talking tough with no action to back it?
Expected by all Nigerians. They are just saying what we do is just talking and no action. So INEC is always playing to the highest bidder, and there is nobody that can outbid the ruling government, the ruling party. So we don't need INEC to talk. We need INEC to just adhere to the minimum, even if they cannot do the maximum. Let them be true and fair to the election and to the electorate. That's all we need. But when you see people rushing to talk, that is to tell you that they are not even ready to take action. Because at times and majorly, actions speak louder than the talks.
Well, Sunday, as a politician yourself and based on your experiences, in your political career, what exactly would you like to see as regards the electoral laws? What change would you want to see?
Yeah, a lot of change. If you want to be unbiased, one of the things about the electoral reform is to first of all ensure that the umpire itself is not chosen politically. That is the head of INEC. That is one. Number two, the technicalities in not accepting beavers fully oppressing beavers need to be checked. Because we go to tribunal and they tell you that the beavers is not sacrosanct, that other means of application can be accepted. That is true. Beavers has to be electronic transmission. Even if you cannot perfectly talk about electronic voting, electronic instant transmission needs to be enacted and followed up fully. So those are, at least with those because when you see everything trickle in, not that after some states have been rigged and there is a margin, some people go to the remote area, then rig the margin and then come and topple it. If we have election in real time, I believe that many people will now trust the process.
Sunday, are you still with us?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm
so
with you.
I would like for you to repeat your last statement because it trickled off, towards the end. You said
Okay.
you were talking about
Okay.
people trusting in the process. What was it you were saying, really?
Yes, I talk about electronic transmission.
Mhm.
That if results are transmitted electronically instantly at the real time, then it will assist people to have more trust in the commission. Unlike when the margin is known, and some political parties with some powers or coverage of some area now go to those remote areas to rig and close in those gaps. But when we have results in real time, then people will trust the process the more.
Okay, one of the things you proposed while you were speaking was the chairman of the INEC not being chosen politically. So if you're saying that should not happen, what other ways are you suggesting that should be used to get our chairman on board?
Yeah, I would have preferred a voting process as well. That some institutions in Nigeria should be subject to voting, like INEC chairperson subject to voting. Yeah, INEC chairperson should be subject to voting.
All right. I remember former President Goodluck Jonathan came on board to say that, institutions like NANS, the legislature, the judiciary.
So, and then even Attorney General discussion, but I believe even AGF should also be subject to voting, so that the people decide who shares INEC, the people decide who shares some public institution, and that will not veto that power on the presidency, because INEC as a chairman will now know that he needs to work for the people and not for those that, because they said who paid the piper, they paid the tune.
Mhm.
So that the people dictate the tune, who that praise them.
Yeah. So in the middle of your conversation, I interjected because we lost your, connection with you a little bit. I think we're having internet challenges. But I was going to say that former President Goodluck Jonathan had mentioned that a vetting process should be initiated, right? And that there should be, consultations with bodies like NANS, trade union organization, the NLC, the legislature, as well as the judiciary, and that these people should be the ones to come up with people who should be, the electoral umpire. But hey, let's quickly take a look at this other story. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has received assurances from Abia state leaders that the Igbo will correct past electoral mistakes in 2027 and rally behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Now, this is the song that's been sung across board. Now, based on this, Sunday, do you think this is smooth sailing for President Tinubu come 2027?
I do. 2027 is not far from us. It's just a year to us now. But the pattern of voting in the East has shown that the president should be worried the more, because if you look at the last election, for example, let's look at Abia State, Oji Zokalu won his Senate seat very well, but the president lost in the state. The same election, the same day. That is to tell you that there is a pattern of vote there, that the people prefer to vote against APC, especially in presidential election, than to vote for them in that election. They may vote for the House of Rep or Senate in other election. And now that ADC is coming strong, I believe the president should be very worried. He should be because the Southeast are before now being supportive of PDP. Now, most of the PDP supporters are aligning with ADC. At the last election, the Southeast went fully. More than 95% went fully with the Labour Party. The same Labour Party candidates and the team now are in the ADC. So indirectly, I believe that the more those in the Southeast, especially Deputy Senate President and others, are trying to embolden the president, I know what they really want is to fight for 25% so that they can meet the minimum requirements. But I can tell you that they should be worried now, because what is coming through ADC to them is going to be a tsunami.
Okay, you actually said that that the president should be worried, but don't you think that there could be a change in the status quo because we have so many governors from the southeast who are already APC members? Don't you think this will actually change the trajectory?
Yes, the only way anything can change is if we will not have free and fair election. If the governors are going to muzzle down voters, but I know that I want to believe INEC will not support that at this time. Anything outside that, then the president should be worried, because those governors will. Okay, like for example, let's look at Edo State in the last election. Edo State had a PDP man and a neighbor to the deputy presidential candidate in Okowa. The PDP did woefully in Edo, while Labour Party carries the day. Okowa, that was even the governor and the deputy presidential candidate in Delta State, couldn't get anything. That is to tell you that when the people are determined, either all the governors let them decamp to APC. It will not change the will of the people if INEC should allow free and fair election.
All right, Sunday. So if the governors defecting to the APC is not going to change anything, how about internal wrangling in the opposition parties? I mean, take a listen to what an APC chieftain and Labour Party has said. Former All Progressives Congress chieftain and Labour Party governorship candidate in the recent Anambra election, George Magalu, he warned that dislodging President Tinubu is going to be very difficult because the opposition has not, gotten its act together. Now, just yesterday, a couple of days ago, Dele Momodu had come up to say that the ADC should be careful so that they don't come up with another wicked situation. Prior to that, lots of analysts like yourself have come out to say that the PDP is comatose. So if the opposition doesn't get its house together, how do you think the president is going to be defeated?
Well, the only problem the opposition has now is ourselves. And like you have said it, President Tinubu is very lucky man, because it's like he seems to play with the opposition we want. The truth is that from statements recently from our own camp, it's been a disappointment because ADC is a political party that doesn't. We are not here to favor any candidate. All candidates need to work their sleeve up for the tickets. So when you now start having a statement like it is either this or nobody, then it's a terrible signal to the party. We had been in the party before either of the party are coming in, and we have maintained that principle that every candidate work for this ticket. You need to work for your ticket. We don't dash people tickets in ADC. So, but if instead of supporters of the candidate now working for the ticket, you are now coming with threats that is either your candidate or nothing. I think that is not going to spell well for the party. So, for me, like I said again, we are going to be the only problem of ourselves if we don't come back together and quickly put our house together. So, like I always do, I have to appeal to both parties, especially those ones just joining us, our new guys, that let every people work for their candidates and then hold their peace. And anybody that wins, we should all learn. Because the truth is that if our ego will help us winning by either of the candidates is better than losing to the present administration.
Well, okay, still talking politics. Let's move to what is happening with the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who has denied involvement in a political write-up titled Malagi 2027, which is speculating on his ambition for Niger State governorship election. And of course, he has also sacked the official who is like a mastermind who has written this article. But I want to ask you, do you actually believe in this denial by the minister, or is this a case of no smoke without fire?
Well, the truth is that politically, every politician wants to test waters. I saw his denial, but I don't believe is innocent of this. This is how politics work. His supporters want to test water and see how popular he is. Had it been, there have been some green light from the presidency, I believe he will not come to refute this. But Bago, the governor of Niger State, has been like a son to the president. So I believe that will be why he quickly tried to retreat. It can't be innocent of this of the news, because that news came from his ministry and from his person. So the truth is that it is not a lie, it's a truth. But he has read the body language and knowing that the president is a full politician, and he quickly retracted that. So I don't believe it's a mistake or it's not true. It should be true.
Well, I want us to push this a little bit further, right? Because the governor has said that the article was written without authorization by his aide, Saidu Enagi. The minister also said that this particular aide has been suspended. Now, if this is about him testing waters, do you think him suspending his aide is playing to the gallery, or is the aide being used as a scapegoat? I mean, I don't understand that part of it. What do you make of it?
No, this is just politics. The suspended aide will still be in the office. There's a way you coat something with sugar so that the people outside will see that you are doing the right thing. To me, it's a political game. It's just a gimmick. The guy is not even being used as a scapegoat. Just, you're going to be suspended so that this thing can die down. Then they give him the suspension on book or in the front of in the newspaper. But the truth of the matter is that the guys still work with them. So I don't think we don't need to stress ourselves. This is a game. This is a politics being played, and they know what they are doing. There is nothing they want to tell us. He knows about the news. He tested the water. He see that will not fly, and he now needs somebody to hang. He needs somebody so that when you call a dog a bad name, you can hang it. So they need a scapegoat, somebody to act that Jesus. So, and that's what that guy has done now.
Well, your analysis, as in this particular analogy, someone to act as Jesus. Well, let's hope that's not the case here. Let's move on to a political activist and former Deputy National Policy Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Timmy Frank, has criticized the EFCC and has accused it of neglecting its constitutional duties and acting as a political tool for the ruling party. Of course, this is in the backdrop of some things like people have been saying that there's been selective prosecution. Do you actually believe that really the FCC is being used as a political tool by the ruling party?
Well, I do say on this type of issues, let all of them, when they get to power, let them keep using it against themselves. At least they will expose those stealing our money. So, because if you are not stealing, I don't see any way anybody wants to use FC against you. It just shows that you have skeleton in your cupboard. So they should go and face the music. Those are part of other institutions also that I wish we can throw to public selection. It's just like I talk about the Inec. The EFCC is also one of them. Let's have somebody that is from the people that is unbiased. Because there is no way EFCC will go after you that you are clean. If you are clean, why are you afraid of political witch hunting? So please let all of them that have been picked up now face their music. When we come into, let's pick up other people too that are going to face their music. With this, maybe by the time we have them 4 or 5 times, we can have a cleaner society. So the issue of witch hunting politics, I don't buy that idea. If you have not stolen, if you don't have skeleton in your cupboard, then you have nothing to fear. So anybody that has been picked up, at least something has been traced to that person. That's all.
But I don't think that's all, though, because I'd like for us to flip this coin, yeah? So Mr. Frank cited the case of Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, who faced corruption allegations while in the opposition, but saw his case go silent after defecting to the APC and receiving a renewed hope ambassadorial position. I mean, I can also cite the case of a former governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, who is in the APC and is intending to contest for a serious position in 2027. Now, why do you think the EFCC is not pursuing a couple of these people we just mentioned now who are in.
Okay, I will have a case for you. Bala Mohammed of the PDP. Bala Mohammed had a case before he became governor. He was left alone, and he became governor. And since then, he has been covered by immunity. So I'm just trying for you to see it from the other angle too. So, like I've said earlier, let everybody that have, for example, now when we ADC get there, let us pick all the APC chiefs, all the PDP chiefs, and hopefully all our chiefs, because we want to do things differently, and let us prosecute them. At that point, some people will still come out again and tell us it is political wish hunt. So that is my position.
Yeah, so I want to understand what you're saying. So you are saying actually the EFCC embarks upon selective persecution? Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying, and I'm not also saying they don't. I think you need to get my point here. I'm not speaking in for the EFCC, and I'm not speaking against them. My only point is that everybody that has skeleton in their cupboard, either you are in the political party or you are opposing today. If your own selective judgment or EFCC is not catching you today, when we get there tomorrow, we catch you. Until EFC is able to put independence, there's no way an APC government, for example, will pick an EFC chairman and will now tell him, go after my friend. That's one until he wants to preserve his job. Until some of these public institutions are subject to selective will of the people, then we can't get to where we want to go. So, but my point is this: for now, whatever we do now, any chief that need to be caught now should be caught. Those that are not caught today, we should be caught tomorrow. So I'm not against that EFC is selective. I'm not supporting that they are not selective. All I just mean is that if you have been caught now, then that means you have stolen. So instead of you telling us to come and cry for you, why did you steal? That is my position.
Okay, and let's move on. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, of course, has expressed deep concern over the alleged neglect of Nigerian students in Morocco. I know these students in Morocco has actually said that they've accused the administration of President Bola Tinubu of abandoning them to hardship, homelessness, and medical neglect. What do you make of this kind of situation where our students abroad are now crying foul?
Network. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you. Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't get it completely.
Okay, so I talked about
the Moroccans, the students in Morocco, yes?
Yes, so I said they have actually accused the administration of President Bola Tinubu of abandoning them to hardship, homelessness, and of course, medical neglect. And I'm asking you, what do you make of this kind of situation where our students who are supposed to enjoy some sort of scholarship actually crying foul and saying that they've not gotten the needed welfare support they should have gotten as students, as foreign students?
One thing that the APC government has succeeded in doing is this incompetence in continuity of programs. I am sure this scholarship should have been inherited from the Buhari administration. I think so. And like many other schemes, the same APC government has tended not to follow up or not to support what they started. So it's a shame to us because I believe that the student never begged to be on scholarship to study there. But we needed them to go on scholarship, gain knowledge, and come back to serve their fatherland. So it is a shame. It's a big shame that this is happening at this century, at this age, where people are supposed to some people are supposed to be responsible for this. And now to tell you that at the end of the day, there will be no information, there will be no head rolling, and it's just be normal. We attend to you, and everything will go down again. It's really a shame. It's really a shame that we are being governed by the same party, and they cannot continue the same program for the masses. It's a shame. It's a pity.
Well, Sunday, among other things, the students are demanding for a full investigation into the mismanagement of the scholarship funds and accountability for those responsible. I wonder if you're expecting the EFCC to jump on this.
Yeah. Sincerely speaking, I think this should be ICPC, I think.
Okay.
But, well, yeah. But whichever, I believe this should have been done even before the news come out, because I don't think this is fair. I believe the students were fed up. That's why they have to cry out. I believe there will have been official communication, but it's always an idea of neglect. You know, the people that are culprits feel unconcerned that nothing will happen. And I can tell you, the truth is that with the APC government, I doubt if anything will happen. So, but let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that this time around we'll have it investigated and the true picture revealed to the people.
Well, like you said, let's hope that this investigation is carried out over this, and of course, the needed welfare packages that these students need will be given to them. Thank you very much for joining us, Sunday.
Yeah, thank you very much, and have a nice night.
And you too. Okay, you're still watching the news hour on Voice of the People Television. Would bring more stories after this break.
Everyone. On a sad note now, gunmen suspected to be bandits have reportedly attacked the National Park Service office in Oyo State. Reports say the attack occurred at about 9 p.m. on Tuesday. Unconfirmed reports added that about 5 NPS personnel were killed during the attack. The state police public relations officer confirmed the incident to newsmen, saying the attack was carried out by yet to be identified armed men against personnel of the National Park Service. He said that the Commissioner of Police, Oyo State Command, alongside other security service chiefs, were already headed to the affected areas to assess the situation firsthand. He disclosed that the Commissioner of Police had ordered the immediate deployment of tactical teams, officers of the Mobile Police Force, and the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit of the Nigeria Police Force to the area.
May their souls rest in peace. We now move on to the Federal Capital Territory, where Police Command says it has launched an investigation into the death of a woman whose body was discovered in the Kubwa area of Abuja. The deceased was found on the Kubwa Expressway on Tuesday with her bag, which contained her identity card and other personal belongings recovered a few meters from the body. Documents recovered from the deceased suggested she may have been a staff member of the FCT High Court. In a brief statement on Wednesday, the FCT police spokesperson, Josephine Ade, confirmed that detectives had commenced work on the case.
Well, turning to other stories now, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has formally transferred regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Gombe State to the Gombe State Electricity Regulatory Commission, in line with the amended Constitution and the Electricity Act 2023. The transfer, which took effect following an order issued by the Commission, removes Gombe from NERC's direct regulatory control over intrastate electricity activities, marking another milestone in the decentralization of Nigeria's power sector. The public notice, NERC said the transfer followed Gombe State's compliance with all conditions precedent under the law, including formal notification and a request for regulatory authority over its intrastate electricity market. The Commission explained that while it retains its role as the central regulator for interstate and international electricity generation, transmission, trading, and system operations, states are now empowered to establish and regulate their internal electricity markets.
This next report says the Nigeria Electricity Consumers Advocacy Network, NECAN, has criticized the federal government's service-based electricity tariff policy, saying it has failed to reduce subsidies and has worsened inefficiencies in the power sector. NECAN Secretary Uket Obonga accused distribution companies of collecting tariffs despite inconsistent power supply, calling for urgent reforms. Meanwhile, citizens are speaking out on the electricity challenges, urging the government to provide a stable and reliable power supply. VOP TV's Matthew Guswada has more in this report.
NECAN has criticized the federal government's service-based electricity tariff policy, saying the changes have failed to reduce subsidy payments and have instead worsened inefficiencies in the power sector. Speaking on the policy, NECAN National Secretary Uket Obonga said the introduction of the Band A tariff regime, which the government had described as a way to reduce subsidies, has had the opposite effect. He accused the distribution companies or DISCOs of continuing to collect tariffs despite inconsistent power supply, and noted that the original purpose of the service-based tariff system has collapsed, pointing to fundamental flaws in Nigeria's electricity demand structure. Meanwhile, Voice of the People TV spoke to citizens who shared their thoughts on the ongoing electricity crisis and the challenges they face with power supply.
There is nowhere in the world that government don't subsidize energy. It's only here that we are hearing that we have to now begin to look at faces, you being in Band A, you being in B, and you being in C. Even at the end of the day, Nigerians cannot still get the electricity to use. And you know what that means. So I am not seeing any change. The way NEPA was unbundled, we were like, oh, we're going to see difference. We saw Genco, we saw Disco, we saw Transmission Company of Nigeria and all others. Unfortunately, the Genco are doing well. They are generating. But when they transmit to national grid, the system cannot carry it. Then we'll now begin to see failure in transformer and even the wires. And at the end of the day, you will not get light. In that same country where it is not, the electricity is not available, somebody is saying, is categorizing the band. It's making some people to be in A, to pay higher, some people to be in B and all that. What was the criteria that was used in this band, distribution of this band? Have you asked? Were you asked which of them you want to belong to so that I'll give you 24-hour electricity? Would you like to be in Band A? Do you know how many people are living in some area where they have Band A that they cannot pay? These are people who are struggling to even meet their daily on daily basis. Then you are not telling them being in Band A when they cannot pay. The federal government need to look into what we are talking about. We need to look into how were these things done. These are the things I was expecting the National Assembly to do. So since it's not working, let's look for a way to see how to get the laws that actually brought us to this level and see how we can amend it and make it functional.
If you have electricity 24/7, I think it will do a lot of good for the country too. Because people will like to come in and do their business. Companies will do well. I think it also reduce the rates whereby inflation will also come down because we have to sell things at a higher cost due to fuel scarcity and the rest. So there are a lot of benefits that comes with having 24/7 electricity in the country.
As citizens continue to speak out, they are urging the government to take decisive action to resolve the electricity crisis and ensure a reliable power supply for all Nigerians. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
Matthew, thank you. Well, on the foreign scene, a plot to kill Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, has been thwarted. The West African nation has announced the sophisticated plan had been hatched by Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba, the military officer ousted by Traore in September 2022. The security minister said in a late-night broadcast. In a statement, government of the West African nation further alleged that the plot had been funded by neighboring Ivory Coast. There has been no comment from either Colonel Damiba or Ivory Coast. Since he's in power, Captain Traore has faced at least 2 coups of jihadist violence that has forced millions from their homes.
Still on the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky says European allies have not given him sound guarantees that will protect his country in the case of a new Russian aggression. His comments come a day after the UK and France signed a declaration of intent on deploying troops in Ukraine if a peace deal to end the war with Russia is agreed. but full security guarantees have not been agreed. The U.S., which has been leading efforts to end the invasion, reportedly did not sign such a pledge at talks in Paris on Tuesday. After the Paris talks, which included some 30 countries that formed the so-called coalition of the willing, UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer said the UK and France would establish military hubs across Ukraine to deter future invasion, while French President Emmanuel Macron later said thousands of troops may be deployed. Allies proposed that the US would take the lead in monitoring a truce, but the key issue of territorial concessions that Ukraine is being asked to grant to Russia as part of the peace proposals are still being discussed.
And now U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has announced he will hold talks with Denmark next week amid concerns over America's desire to acquire the Danish territory of Greenland. Marco Rubio's statement to reporters following a closed-door briefing with U.S. senators comes one day after the White House said U.S. President Donald Trump had been discussing options including military force to acquire Greenland. Concerns over the future of the territory resurfaced after Trump's unilateral use of military force against Venezuela on Saturday to seize its president Nicolas Maduro. Now, the Trump administration says Greenland is vital to U.S. security. Denmark says an attack would end the NATO military alliance.
We now move on to business, where the federal government says it is set to strengthen Nigerian ship owners through targeted policies and financing, aiming to end foreign dominance in the country's shipping industry. This is according to the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Gboyega Oyetola. Speaking through his aide, Bolaji Akinola, the minister highlighted reforms since August 2023, with 2025 seen as a crucial year for the sector. He said the government is removing barriers facing local ship owners and providing support for growth, citing the upcoming Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund activation in 2025 as a key development for operators who have struggled with financing.
Well, still business, the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, says it will hold telecoms operators accountable to ensure significant improvement in consumers' experience. NCC, in a statement, said it expects operators to invest deliberately in expansion, capacity, and resilience, reduce avoidable outages while strengthening incident response plans, and ensure transparent communication with consumers during service disruptions. The telecom regulator said operators must simplify tariffs and improve pricing clarity in line with regulatory guidance. NCC wants telcos to upgrade customer care and complaint handling, treating complaints as critical feedback.
And now to sports. Nigeria Super Eagles players and coach and staff have boycotted travel and training over unpaid bonuses, throwing their Africa Cup of Nations quarter-final clash with Algeria into doubt. According to reports from within the team was set to travel to Marrakesh on Thursday, but refused to board the flight, citing unpaid match bonuses from 4 games. The players also will not train until payments are made. The standoff is over bonuses from games against Tanzania, Tunisia, Uganda, and Mozambique. The squad remains committed to representing Nigeria, but is using the boycott as leverage to get paid.
So Sports News, Atalanta is holding firm on a price of 45 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons for Nigerian forward Ademola Lookman as Galatasaray and Fenerbahce intensify their pursuit. Turkish transfer expert Yilmaz Yasabunku says the club is willing to negotiate below this figure amid growing speculation of a move for the Super Eagles star.
We now move on to entertainment. Nollywood actress and filmmaker Regina Daniels has undergone a drug test months after allegations about her being an addict emerged online. In an emotional video she released on Wednesday, Regina addressed the false drug addiction rumors, explaining that her voluntary drug test was a way to protect her children's future perception of her. Showing what appeared to be the result, a lady from the hospital she visited was heard saying she had nothing to worry about.
For still entertainment news, Afrobeat singer Oxlade has advised artists to demand sound checks before performances following a disastrous gig in London. Headlining his first event alongside Bella Shmurda, Oxlade claimed the organizers failed to provide a proper sound check, resulting in terrible sound quality for the audience. Oxlade in a tweet warned fellow artists to insist on sound checks before performing, emphasizing that it's crucial to know what you are working with before going on stage. Well, that wraps it up for us on News Hour. Thank you so much for watching. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Nenna Ndomdioto. Thank you.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
We encourage you to click on the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Voice of the People TV. Also follow us on all our social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. Visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Also watch us live on SLTV channel 264. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations, but who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Hey guys, what's up? How you all doing? They call me Lovisha Nelson One, your number one celebrity host, and you are watching Voice of the People Television, VOP. Stay tuned.
Uyo Sarate is my name. I am a friend of the microphone, Voice of the People TV. That name is unique, and the brand is very sweet. I like the packaging, picture qualities, camera qualities, and then of course, the quality of human beings that I see sometimes on your channel. I talk and get paid, and I look forward to being in your studios.
Oh yes, you are on to Voice of the People TV. Live here in Benin City, the cradle of black civilization. What are you waiting for? Tune in, bro.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Good morning and welcome to VOP This Morning. I am Moses Humphrey. Now let's quickly take you through the conversations this morning. Residents panic. Police begin probe as suspected U.S. missile warhead found in Niger village. And that, of course. And Atiku finally breaks silence on stepping down for other ADC aspirants. Well, he says he will not step down for anybody. He gets even more interested with politics in Nigeria. And federal government inaugurates committee to train 1 million Nigerians in digital skills. Now, these, of course, are the conversations for this morning. We will focus on these conversations. We'd like for you to follow us on social media. On YouTube, it's Voice of the People Television, and across social media, we are at VOP TV Live. All right, search for us, like, subscribe, and be part of the conversation every time we come your way.
Yes, we'd like you to be part of this conversation. Good morning and thanks for joining us. I am Chukuma Okoro, talking about other trending stories. A man has been rescued alive from the debris of the Great Nigeria House on Lagos Island, Lagos State, 11 days after the structure collapsed in the aftermath of a fire outbreak. VOP News gathered that the man was discovered alive on Tuesday afternoon. Well, recall that the multi-story building went up in flames on Christmas Eve before eventually giving way, prompting Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to order its demolition on safety grounds. But despite growing concerns that no survivors remained, emergency responders sustained search and rescue efforts at the site. Those efforts yielded a breakthrough when a survivor was found alive beneath the rubble more than a week after the collapse. Well, authorities have not yet released details on the condition or identity of the rescued individual, while rescue operations at the site continue. Well, I think this is a miracle, and I thank God for the survival of this man. I thank God for the life of this man. Unfortunately, there was a picture, and I think it was a video of that of an incident in that building that my colleague here shared with me. A certain young man was trying to rescue properties, goods from the inferno, and I think he tried first time, second time, third time, and when he went back the fourth time, the thing caved in on him, and he didn't die immediately. He started yelling, calling for help, bring a bookie, even bring anybody, I will pay. I will pay. It is about money, I will pay. And his voice started, going from high to dim until it faded out and faded. And unfortunately, the young man died. But this one, like I said, is a miracle. Survived 11 days. After 11 days, and without food, without water, how did he? It's just a miracle. I think it's miraculous.
It's a miracle. Without water, I don't know how. I don't know how, because the way the body is, without water, after 4 or 5 days, your body starts to really crave water, and if you don't get water, you might get disillusioned, and death will come in.
Yes, atrophy sets in.
Yes. So, but it's a miracle.
Honestly, I'm not sure there's any medical explanation for this. For me, because
he has to be in a pocket where he could, breathe in some sort of free air.
Free air, that is ventilated.
That is not coming, that has not been affected by the fumes or the dust and everything.
From the flame.
Yes.
From the influence. I think it's a pure miracle. This is what we call miracle. And not, someone said, went to Nigerian Defense Academy, got commissioned as a second lieutenant, from there, captain, major, brigadier, brigadier general, major general, and the person was appointed chief of army staff, and he said it's a miracle. I don't see how that is a miracle, because you had already prepared yourself.
Miracle is to whom it is.
Okay, the way one defines it. For me, so one that is a miracle. I mean, if you get somebody who probably didn't pass school cert, and you make the person minister for Attorney General and Commissioner for and Minister for Justice. That's a miracle. That's a miracle, because it was unplanned, unprepared. But that is, now, apart from the miracle, it's also a call to responders. And I like the tenacity, of people that kept searching the search and rescue team. They didn't give up. The man was not even yelling. He wasn't talking.
I hope the search and rescue team were actually looking for survivors.
Okay, but whatever they were looking for, they found a survivor.
They found a survivor.
I like their tenacity that they continued. They kept digging until they met on this man. It shows that, look, and maybe, and just maybe, that is the problem we have with data. As I speak, nobody knows the number of people that work in that complex. Nobody knows the number of people that visit that complex on a daily basis. We could still have some people unaccounted for.
We can only hazard a guess as to the number of people that work there. Because the number of people that work there will not correlate with the number of people that were probably trapped in there. Now, other individuals who may not even work there could run in and help and try to help save the properties.
Now, when I say the number of people that work there, it helps us get to a definite number of, okay, these are the number of people that work here. Then we can start calculating randomly on a random basis. These are the number of people that visit here.
Absolutely.
On the average. So with that, statisticians, they're able to say, or a point of 0 to 1 to 0 and all of 1 to 10, they're able to guess there might be someone trapped in there, or we don't even have a head count, We should have a head count of the number of people that work there and how many people are missing and all of that. But it's a good thing that this young man survived. Like I say, it's a miracle. And
when I saw the story, the man you mentioned initially that called the wife and asked for assistance to come from anywhere, that if it's money, he'll pay. That was the first person that came to my mind. And I was like, I hope this is the man.
I thought as much.
I'm like, I hope this man. I hope he's the one. But I mean, God saves who he chooses to save, and it's a miracle. It's a miracle to say the least. And surviving this number of days. And another good thing was he had glasses on. When he was brought out, there was glasses on. Yeah, so that probably shielded his eyes from the dust and other things. And you know how these things work medically. They say if you are trapped in a condition like this, the first 3 days, the first 24 to 48 hours, your body starts to feed on
itself,
on fats,
okay,
fatty tissues.